What's going on, everybody? Ramone Paris here, and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be doing a Q&A video. For those of you guys who follow me on Instagram, I posted the other day and I asked you guys to ask me questions related to anything that you wanted to, and that I would talk about it on a Q&A video here on my channel today. And so that's what I'm doing. I told you guys to ask me like literally anything ever. And today I'm just gonna sit down, do my makeup, and talk about it. Very excited to film this video. Hope you guys are just as excited to watch it. And without further ado, let's get into the video. But first, let's roll a clip. This style video, first of all, I want to start by saying I have my nails inspired by spring. The thumbs are probably gonna come off at some point during this video because they're press-ons and the size is way too small for my thumb, so I really have to press down on the thumbs and try to make them stick. And I'm not using glue, I'm using these little tabs because I'm just gonna pop them right off after this video. Yeah, I thought it would be really cute for this video because we're going into spring and they have cute little butterflies on them and they're pink. So that was perfect for spring. So I've always kind of wanted to do this style video where I'm kind of talking and doing my makeup, and I never really knew how it would translate because I never really seen anybody doing that, growing up anyway. I never saw anybody doing their makeup and talking. It was always either they're doing their makeup or they're talking about something or doing a Q&A or doing whatever. But Jackie Aina does this type of thing where she will be doing her makeup and talking about something or having a serious conversation on her channel, and it really translates. The makeup is almost secondary to the conversation, and it works. So it gave me the push that I needed to do stuff like this, stylistic videos like this, where I'll be doing my makeup and talking about something completely non-makeup related. I would get used to. I'm just gonna hop right into the questions. I went through and found about 20 questions or 19 or so questions, I can't remember, that I wanted to answer, that I thought were good questions. And I'm just gonna start answering them. The first question that I got was a really good one. What is the biggest challenge I faced since being open about being genderqueer? Which in my Where Have I Been video, I talked about my gender identity and how I identify. And in the video, I said that I was gender fluid, but it hasn't always been that. I opened up to friends way before I opened up to YouTube about my gender identity. I actually still haven't yet to have a lot of those conversations with my family. But I think the biggest thing that I have faced, challenge-wise, the biggest challenge that I faced since being open about my gender expression, my gender identity, and being genderqueer in general, has been people second-guessing me, in a sense. Cisgender women do it a lot where they're are you sure, Not to say that cisgender men or men in general don't have their own qualms with the transgender community, because that is another issue that I definitely want to talk about on this channel at a later date. But a lot of cisgender women, for me personally, with my experience, have, oh, are you sure? That's something that you can't change, you can't go back on it, yada yada. And, have gone so far as to even say oh, you'll never be a real woman and stuff like that. I've had crazy conversations with people, and the thing is because backtracking a little bit, I know that might have sounded weird because I did say gender fluid and now I'm saying woman. As it relates to this conversation, the reason that I'm saying the woman thing is because when I first started to identify and discover and things like that, I thought that I was just a trans woman, that I wanted to be a trans woman, and that I fully wanted to transition. But that I'm not so sure on anymore. How do I open this? And there's a lot, honestly, just to be completely candid and transparent, there's a lot that I still am just unsure about and that I, still have questions about. Back when I thought that I wanted to just transition fully, I was telling friends that, yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. And, this is just a lot of the response that I got at that phase in my life. I don't need the are you sures and the second guessing. There's a lot of that going on already, with me in general, second guessing and like not being sure. And that's a lot of the reality that genderqueer people and like trans people experience that, you know, we don't always talk about. Because in a world full of people trying to invalidate your gender, the last thing that you're gonna want to be transparent about is your own struggles with your gender. Do my eyebrows, but it's not really cooperating with me. Please, please cooperate. Please cooperate. Hello? This is embarrassing. Like, this is embarrassing. Like, this is humiliating. The next question says, if I had to choose one person out of all my inspirations, who is my biggest inspiration? So out of all the people that I talked about in my last video, I'm assuming that's what this person meant. Out of all the people that I talked about in my last video about my inspirations on YouTube, and people who like inspire me, who will be my biggest? I don't know. That's like a tough one. I mean, Khalil and Nikki Thought really inspired me. Like, they inspired me a lot. And Hey Claire, like Claire Marshall. But I gotta give props to Miss P because she also inspired me. It's like, I don't want to kind of discredit anybody, but I don't know. I think for me, I might say that it is probably a tie between Claire, Khalil, and Nikki Thought. Don't know. I don't know out of those three who inspired me the most, but it's a mixture between those three. I don't know. I could not answer that question. I don't know. But again, everybody in that video inspired me a lot. That I mentioned in that video, like, inspired me a lot. The next question says relationship status with a question mark. So I am single as fuck, like very single. Like, I am not even interested in anybody right now. That's how single I am. Like, that's how over men and relationships and everything. I'm not even looking. I'm not interested. I'm just over it because my last experience was horrible. Like, let me backtrack. I've never been in a relationship, but I have had experiences with people, be it sexual experiences or just like talking or getting to know each other kind of experiences. I've had my fair share. And nobody really takes serious right now. As far as my relationship status, I'm single and not looking and not interested, and please nobody hit me up. The next question says thoughts on dating apps, which was from the same person that asked me my relationship status. So I'm assuming this person is interested in some way. Apps like Tinder and Bumble, I can totally get behind because it's focused on the person and getting to know the person and not just getting in the person's pants. Jack'd and Grindr, however, are not. There's one sole purpose for being on those apps, and we all know what it is. Now, I'm banned off Tinder. Like, I'm suspended from Tinder because I put in my bio looking for a sugar daddy, and I guess that's like not a good thing to put in the bio. Apparently it goes against community guidelines and whatever else, but oops. So the next question says, what moment helped to define your 2020? This is a good question that I haven't thought about actually. A defining moment for 2020, I think, okay, so if I have to define 2020, I think the year was very eye-opening for me and for, like, as far as like love life relates, to love life, because a lot of people took a lot of things away from 2020. For me though, I took away a lot as it relates to love and like just me as a person, like how I see myself. The biggest thing that helped to define that year was like, there was a moment with a friend of mine who I will not name, where a friend of mine and I started like hooking up, and it got like really weird. Like, It started off as casual, cool, like, oh, okay, this is nice. Every now and then kind of thing. Because we started in like February. And then we finally stopped in like August. So maybe once a month from February to August, if that, once or twice or so a month. From February to August, we would kind of like have these moments. And it wasn't full on sex until August. Like we didn't actually have full on sex until August. But we were hooking up and doing things and such in between without going too into detail, because obviously I don't want to go into detail. And that us hooking up led to us eventually, you know, having sex. And he said that he started to catch feelings a little bit. And he didn't like it because he had never been with like a guy, or as he said, a guy or someone that was transitioning or whatever the case. Pretty much anyone gender queer or of the same gender as he was. He never been with someone like that, and he did not know how to like identify that, and he didn't know. He just said that for him that it was less that it was a guy and more so that it was like me. And it started to get serious for him. Like he started to feel things and he didn't really like it. It's not that he didn't like it, he just didn't want to go there. He didn't want to like, I guess ruin the friendship, or he didn't want to be seen as like, you know, not straight or whatever the case might have been. For him, that was a lot. And that whole situation, without going too into detail, it was like a huge runaround, and it was a huge thing for so long in the year. Like there was a point where, because with me, I'm one of those people where, okay, if I'm gonna give this part of me to you to a certain degree, like I'm expecting you to treat it like you value it, or treat me like you value me now. Like I'm expecting way more from you now. Even though it was just a hookup, I'm expecting you to be a certain way with me now. Like, not necessarily, you know, like, oh, change the whole dynamic thing, but I'm expecting you to kind of follow up and make sure that I know that you're still here, be it as a friend or whatever it is. Because of my past experiences, I kind of have to have that security. I don't know, like, for some reason that just didn't seem feasible to him. Like, it didn't seem like something that he wanted to even partake in, because to him, he was like, I don't think anything should change. Like, I feel like I should be able to treat you exactly the same. But I was like, and I agree, I feel like we should be able to be the same after a while. But like, for a while, I need you to kind of be there for me a little bit more than I've ever needed you to be there for me in my life. Because he was one of those friends where, you know, we spoke every now and then, and that was cool. That was what our thing was. We spoke every now and then, and it was like whatever. But now we have this other layer to us, to our relationship, that needs to be nurtured. At least in my opinion, needed to be nurtured. And he was like, I don't see why it needs to be like that. And that whole, like, after he, you know, because there was a process of him trying to figure out how to like get over the feelings, and me trying to help him do that because I didn't feel the same. And it went from that to like, okay, now how do you help me feel secure with like where our relationship is? And that whole situation was just like, ugh, it was so toxic. There was so much happening. It was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And it helped me learn a lot of valuable lessons in life and just in general. Now, as far as like, where is our relationship now? We're cool. We're cordial. But it's definitely not the same as it was. Like, we have our moments where we're like, you know, oh, this is nice, but it's definitely not the same. I definitely don't feel the same. And it's not necessarily in a bad way. Like, we're not different in a bad way. we're just not where we were. That's it. Like, there's nothing more to it. We're just not where we were before we hooked up, before we started getting involved with each other. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm cool because, like I said, he was never really like a huge factor in my life prior to us hooking up anyway. So I'm sure he's fine with it too. Like, we were never like this with each other, you know? That whole situation made me look inwards. Like, why do I require this security? Why do I need to hear him say this or see him making an effort when I don't want him in that way? And it made me realize a lot of things about myself and about my past that I hadn't really addressed. And definitely helped a lot. But in that same breath, I like to acknowledge that he did not do much to help me feel better about the situation. And I might still harbor a little bit of emotion about that, because as somebody who claims to be my friend, I expected you to be there for me as a friend and play your part and do what I expected from you, you know, which wasn't much. I was literally just asking you for security, for that I'm here, the reassurance, like that was it, you know, because the biggest thing I think was like this person, he would make an effort to hang out with other people, and hanging out with other people wouldn't be an issue, but when it came to me, I felt like trying to get him to come over, hang out, or do things felt like pulling teeth. And, you know, I didn't care too much for that, and I made that known. And even to this day, like, he still does not do anything to try to fix that perception of a relationship, you know. But I'm at a point now, because that was such a while ago. Like, that whole moment was so seemingly forever ago. I'm like kind of over it now. Now I just know how to move with him, you know? And that's fine. That's fine. That is like A-okay. It's disappointing. Sure, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. It's disappointing, very disappointing, but also not the end of the world. I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, okay, well, you showed me who you are. Now, am I gonna believe you or what? You know, that's just kind of where I am with this whole situation and with things in general, you know, with people, with relationships, with, I mean, a lot. Like, taking things for what they are and learning from them instead of holding on to it and harboring it and letting it bother me. No, not me. I'm over that. I'm at a point where it's like, okay, this is the situation. How are you gonna respond to this? How is it gonna affect you? Is it worth addressing? Is it easier to just kind of like let the situation be what it is and learn from it? Or do you feel like in order for you to get over it or move on or whatever the case might be, do you feel like you need to address the situation? And a lot of times, oftentimes and not, it's move on. Forget about it, you know? Listen to it, obviously, like hear the experience, feel the experience, but don't let it weigh you down for so long. Because I used to hold on to a lot. I used to hold on to so much. Not anymore. Nope. I'm the type of person now where it's like, okay, well, good to know. You know? God, I used to harbor so much. And I still find myself feeling angry with certain people for certain situations that happened so long ago, because that was where I was when they happened. But now I'm in a different space, and I'm learning to forgive the people that I never forgave. And, you know, and that's without having to have that conversation for closure, because I know a lot of the time people say, oh, I need to have that closure. And it's really just an excuse to go and talk to that person that you want to talk to. I can't believe I'm contouring my nose. Any closure that needs to be had, you can have it on your own. You don't need the other person for closure. Oh, I never got the answers I deserved. I never did this. He never, oh my God, and they never did that. Child, move on. Move the on. Okay? Everybody else is living for themselves, clearly, at your expense, no less. So live for yourself. just make better decisions than the people that didn't. The next question says, what are my goals for the next 5 years? So this is a tricky one because I don't like to put timelines on my goals. I have the goals and I know a rough estimate of like when I would like to have it done. And I try to push and whatever, but I've learned that having goals or having expectations and timeline expectations for your goals it's detrimental. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the goals speed up. And honestly, hell, it might help you. It might make you rush through a process instead of taking the time. Instead of taking your time and just kind of experiencing things as they happen. You know, you kind of find yourself a lot of times trying to get through it kind of thing. Instead of like, slow down, breathe, enjoy the moment. So I don't necessarily have any goals for the next 5 years, but I guess I can talk about the goals that I have, my more immediate goals. I think my more immediate goals would be, there's a company that I want to start very soon that I'm very excited about and I've been thinking about day in and day out, conceptualizing and coming up with ideas and brainstorming for a while. You know, I definitely know that it's a more immediate goal of mine, but I don't have a timeline on it. I mean, of course I have an idea of when I want it to be done. Of course, like obviously all of us do have like, oh, I want it to be there by this time because this way I can do this, and this, whatever. But I don't necessarily, it's not like oh my God, it's a must, because that's when it starts to become, for me at least, it starts to become a chore. And you don't really take in the experience of actually doing this thing that you're doing. You just more so become engulfed in the idea of getting the thing done. Someone asked what's my favorite makeup brand? I think I'm gonna say either Pat McGrath or Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think Anastasia right now because I own more products from Anastasia than I do from Pat. Like Pat I have 3 products from, Anastasia I have like 8 or 9 or so, give or take. Okay, the next question is also makeup related. My top 3 go-to makeup products. So, I definitely want to say top 3 would be the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, this Anastasia Beverly Hills Eyeshadow Primer. Oh, this one says not a question, but I know you're gonna go far. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm really trying, you know, with this YouTube thing and my Instagram. I guess you can say that I'm trying to be an influencer, but I mean, I guess that's kind of the thing that comes with wanting to do YouTube. You kind of have to be multifaceted in order for people to be interested. You can't just do YouTube or just do Instagram. You gotta have multiple sources of like ways that people can reach you. So I guess technically, sure, I am trying to become an influencer, but I just don't know. I don't know what it is about the whole being an influencer thing that turns me off. It just, influencers are kind of cringy sometimes. But thank you, that is very sweet. I am definitely trying my hardest to get myself out there. So hopefully it goes recognized. This one says, what is my primary goal for this year? So, love this question. Again, I don't set timelines for my goals, so I don't really necessarily have anything that I want to have accomplished by this year, technically. But one thing that I definitely want to have done by the end of this year, I want to have my own place. No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade to living with people. But kind of all tea, all shade, all pink lemonade to living with people. Because I don't really like living with people. I hate living with other people. Like, I really do. I don't hate the people that I live with, but I just like having my own space. That's it, that's all. I like having my own space. I like having my own privacy. I like doing my own thing. I don't, want to worry about, oh, this person touched my food. This thing is missing, where is it type deal. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to, it's just, it's not a good, I just don't like living with other people. Yeah, that's definitely a goal of mine by the end of this year, is to have my own place and to just be completely dependent and reliant upon myself. Advice on dealing with jealousy. Okay, this is a good one. I like this question. So, I don't want to answer the question incorrectly because I'm not sure if this person meant they're the jealous one and they want to try to figure out how to deal with it, or if someone is jealous of them. So I'm going to answer this question from both perspectives. I don't have a jealous bone in my body. Was that true? Sometimes. I can be sometimes, but it's not very often that I'm jealous of things or people. I'm always very happy for the success that other people have. That being said, I am aware that it is a very natural thing for people to feel jealousy. And I think the best way to deal with that kind of thing, if you're the one being jealous, I like to look back and be like, okay, sure, they did it, but you can too. Not necessarily, oh, how are they getting it and I can't. It becomes less about them and more about me kind of thing whenever I experience jealousy. Like, nobody wants to look at a situation with a negative perspective or negative outlook. Nobody does. It doesn't matter who you are. So trying to take a situation like that and make it as positive as possible, I think is the best solution to it. But if someone is being jealous of you, how do you handle it? You don't. Keep doing you, keep being you, keep spreading positivity and love and light, and, you know, hope for the best. Hopefully that person will see that they're doing too much. The next question says, do you watch anime? And if so, what's your favorite? So yes, I watch anime occasionally. It's gonna sound very cliche. I know, don't care, but my favorite might have to be Attack on Titan. Either Attack on Titan or My Hero Academia. You know, those definitely might have to be my favorite because, I mean, come on. You can't not like those shows. Like, if you don't like those shows, you're just really just being a hater. I mean, I'm just kidding. You're not a hater. Not everything is for everybody, but either My Hero or Attack on Titan. Next question says, what religion do you practice? I do not practice religion. I am not religious in any way when it comes to religion in itself. Organized religion, no, not my thing. Next question is, what is the biggest lesson that I learned on my 2-year break from YouTube? I think the biggest thing that I learned while I was away is things take time. I just found myself a lot of times trying to rush into, like I was talking to earlier, trying to rush into my dreams and my goals because I wanted them to be done and I wanted them to be accomplished by whatever time or whatever deadline I set for myself. And if they weren't getting done, I was forcing them and it wasn't really turning out great for me. All right, this next question. I got like 2 more after this one. Biggest regret in life. And I just don't have any regrets. I know that sounds very cliche and like not believable, but I'm serious. I genuinely do not have any regrets in life. Except maybe working at Target. I should have never done that. Next question I got was favorite video game. And I mean, anybody that knows me knows this is a no-brainer. You might just go ahead and say it with me. The Sims, like, hello. Okay, the last question is a question that I think Satan submitted himself. It asked me my top 3 favorite albums of all time, which is a damn shame. Like, I can't believe this question is being asked right now. Like, I genuinely can't believe somebody would be so evil and maniacal and diabolical and just like disturbed enough to ask me this type of question. Like, I don't want to answer any more questions. I'm so pissed off at that music question. I'm done with the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I was very surprised when I posted this on Instagram and the people who responded. Like, I didn't get any responses from like friends, people that I know in real life, but I got responses from people who are supporters of my channel and what I'm trying to do. So I was very happy and grateful to have gotten those responses from you guys, because that just meant that you guys wanted to know more and that you guys are at least a little interested in what I have to say. So that made me very happy. Not only for that reason, but because, like, hello, I want to know you guys some more too. So, you know, in the comments, anybody who got to the end of the video, you know, pick one of the questions that I asked, write the question or like type the question in the comment and then type your response to it. I want to get to know you guys a little bit more too. since you guys actually participated and sent me questions. Okay, babes, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, do not be afraid to give it a big thumbs up down below. 2 thumbs up, 2 nailless thumbs up down below. I very much so appreciate it. As well as sharing. Follow me on all my socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all down below in the description of this video, as well as subscribing and returning for more content. Hello. You know, I just looked at my reports or whatever the other day, and I saw that like a huge percentage of you guys, like I'm gonna put the percentage right here, the screenshot that I took. A lot of y'all are not following or subscribing. A lot of y'all are watching and not subscribed, which is interesting. I thought that was a very interesting demographic. So if you are not subscribed, do not be afraid to subscribe. If you keep coming back for more videos and you know you love this personality or whatever the case might be, I would love to have you a part of my family. So do not be afraid to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And until next time, I will see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.